Yeah, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, current breaking news, culture, and warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. It's been a crazy week of news. This is Bitcoin time flies. Michael Saylor tweeted, I think Michael Saylor made the case that we've been making over the last couple of days, that it is inevitable that Wall Street sees the writing on the wall. Also, Pomp, out of all people, he had a pretty good interview, to give him credit, where he's also saying the quiet part out loud. But for you plebs listening right now, congratulations, you ran BlackRock. I think that's pretty badass to say, right? So, this is one of the largest companies in the world, has trillions of dollars assets under management. And, I think that's really cool. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about the IMF as well. And it looks like they launched an initiative to develop a global digital currency platform. The intermediaries continue to come up with reasons to justify their existence, even though they don't really need to exist anymore. But hey, you know what? They're not going to go gently into that good night. Also, we have some very special guests that we're going to talk to during the culture segment. But before we get to that, I want to bring up my legendary co-host, always optimistic. How you doing, Opti? Optimus Fields.
Well, I was just telling everyone in the spaces, I think I drank too much caffeine this morning, so your boy is geeked up on today's episode. My stomach is not feeling as well as usual, but we're still here. The show goes on. Oh man. You know what, Nico, you said something that triggered me already. This Bitcoin time goes so fast, man. Can we just get like a week without shit going on? Because
you'd be out of a job. We'd be out of a job. If that happened, we wouldn't have a job.
And then everyone else, are we playing Pomp today on the show? Is that the numbers?
We're gonna play Pomp. Play
Pomp. Man,
rocket ship, get on board.
All right. Anyways, I'm having too much fun already.
We are.
As you can tell, I'm caffeined up, guys. It's gonna be a sick one today.
Every single day. When Simply Coffee comes
soon enough.
TM.
Wine, you guys want it?
Wine.
Yeah, wine. Hit us in the chat.
Wine.
I'm looking at you. Do we get coffee and coffee mugs?
It's all wine. You know what? It kind of, before we jump into it, the Bitcoin kindergarten marketing.
Dude, shh.
It's pretty good. WTF wine. I blame that on wine. 100%
the branding
on wine.
might be better. The branding might be better.
Let's bring up our special guest. How you doing, Ed?
Good morning, Nico. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good to have you. And Ed is part of Revolution Mining. And I also want to bring up his coworker today.
Todd. It's easier.
Todd. Okay.
Yes, good morning,
How you doing, boys? So could you guys give a little bit of a lowdown of what you guys do?
Sure. So we are a hosting company, ASIC hosting company and sales. We provide co-location services for anyone that's trying to get into Bitcoin mining. We basically provide you the ASICs, provide you the hosting space, and do all the management for you. So you just, sit back and collect BTC.
Awesome. Very, very, very cool. So we're gonna talk about that during the culture. Really looking forward to this show. No more delay, everybody. Let's jump straight into it.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Brought to you by Nodl. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse, because now you can run a Nodl through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today.
All right, guys, I also want to tell you about the largest Bitcoin conference in the world, Bitcoin 2024. It's not going to be in Miami this year. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be July 25th through the 27th, 2024. And you can buy your early bird tickets now. You can get a GA ticket for $299, an industry pass ticket for $749, and a whale pass ticket for $4,499. $499. And you can take advantage of the promo code simply to get a 10% discount. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 29,940 sats per dollar, 3,340. Block height, 795,460. Reachable Bitcoin node, 17,096. Blocks to having 44,540. Having estimate April 20th, 2024, less than a year. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,427 Bitcoin. Capacity value, 162 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, my favorite statistic out of all this because it embarrasses fiat currencies. It is a 1.76%. And the market capitalization of Bitcoin, $581 billion with a B. Anyways, so this is a big news. I think it's a nod from the Chad Saylor himself. He goes on to say the window to front run institutional demand for Bitcoin is closing, and he is quote tweeting a Wall Street Journal article that is titled "Crypto Exchange Backed by Citadel Securities Fidelity Schwab Starts Operations." And again, we covered this earlier on in the week, so we're not gonna cover it again. But also, we have to keep in mind what also happened this week is BlackRock announcing that they're going to file an ETF, Fidelity following suit, and also the largest bank in Germany, Deutsche Bank, also announcing that they want to start custodying Bitcoin. They filed for a license to do just that. Anyways, here is Pomp, who doesn't have a good reputation with Bitcoiners in the space, but sometimes he does have some good takes. Anyways, here he is on the Legacy Corporate Media, which is a reason why we want to play you this clip in the first place, because it is very important that the Bitcoin echo chamber is broken. Anyways, I'm going to play you this clip and then we'll talk about it. Let's check it out.
How big of a deal is this BlackRock ETF?
Yeah, look, I think what's happening right here is everyone's heard of the space race, where a bunch of countries got together and they all tried to get to space first. But now what we're going to see is the great accumulation race. And what I mean by that is we have institutions and individuals all scrambling to try to get their share of the 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in existence. The retail investor for 15 years now has had a head start, and they've accumulated all the Bitcoin that has been actually mined and put into circulation. But 68% of all of that Bitcoin in circulation hasn't moved in over a year. And so what that means is when Wall Street, people like BlackRock and other organizations that have now filed for these ETFs or other products, show up to the market and they want to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a highly illiquid asset, and these Bitcoiners don't want to sell to Wall Street. And so the only thing that can move when you have a fixed supply asset that's highly illiquid and there's a bunch of demand that comes into the market is the price has to go up. How long that takes is anyone's guess, but I think that's the big story here, is the great accumulation race is underway.
That was very, very well said, right? And this is something that Simply Bitcoin has been saying for quite a while now, right? Bitcoin, what is there to sell to? That is, that's one of the questions I always get, I always get asked. It's like, Nico, if Bitcoin reaches 200,000, are you going to sell? Sell it to what exactly? Sell it to something that there's an infinite amount of, or am I gonna stay in something that there's only 21 million of, right? And I think that is really the divide, right? Is people that haven't fully wrapped their head around it, they still see Bitcoin as an investment. They still see Bitcoin kind of like a stock, right? Versus I think what Bitcoiners see Bitcoin as is an escape, right? You're just getting out of the system. You're taking self-custody of your money. That's very difficult to do with other tech. You could say you could do the same thing with gold, but taking self-custody of a large amount of gold is pretty difficult to do. You're either gonna have to have like some type of safe. Try moving that. Gold is very heavy. Let's say you have to get out of a pinch real quickly, because your country is going through something politically. There's only so much gold you could put on your person, right? Versus Bitcoin, it's a totally different conversation. It's, you could memorize 12 words in a pinch and you could theoretically cross a border, with, millions, trillions, billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Theoretically, you memorize them, right? Or you memorize the access to recover a wallet. Anyways, so that's why Bitcoiners aren't selling, you know? And I think what the signal there that Pomp said, and he was very, very articulate, right? And I saw someone asking like, why are people not friends of Pomp? Well, that's because of some of the companies he recommended. I think it was BlockFi. Opti, could you play that soundboard?
Rocket ship, get on board.
Yeah. So you know, he's a great content creator. I'll say that about Pomp. He's definitely a great content creator. Obviously, you know, there's some business decisions that we might not necessarily agree with, but that's what I meant by that. But in terms of that interview, I think he articulated it beautifully, and I think he really broke down the situation and also the great opportunity that this has created for Bitcoiners. Like the fact that you ran BlackRock while Larry Fink was making fun of Bitcoin, saying it was no good, it was only good for money laundering, and then literally 2 or 3 years later, Bitcoin's incentives stay winning. And you know, they're like, oh, you know what? Actually, we kind of like this thing. Let's file for an ETF. Why not? And you know, as history has shown, BlackRock has like a 99% approval rating in any of the filings that they've had in the past. So, anyways, Opti, what's your take on this? And then we'll get these two gentlemen's opinions.
Yeah, well, first, I think I'm going to voice what everyone in the chat is saying. Basically, the orange washing commences as the bull run starts. So, you know, Pomp, hey, he's got to claw back some of his reputation, but he's a great interviewer. He's doing a great job breaking the echo chamber and going on corporate press and saying what we all know to be true. I honestly really kind of like the meme that he put on what I don't know what was that CNBC, the great accumulation race. We've been saying this all the time. I just call it Hungry Hippo for Sats, but great accumulation race is pretty good branding. I mean, like, he wasn't wrong. He's not wrong in that clip. So kudos to him for being a great interviewer and knowing how to speak very eloquently to the corporate press. But to your point, Nico, I say it all the time. When you understand why Bitcoin, there's no going back. You know, what are we going to do? Like, go back and save in dollars? It doesn't make any sense. Like, once you see it, once you wake up to the sham that is fiat money in the traditional financial system, you just go all in on Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin. That is your unit of account. That is your retirement, your savings for the future. And everyone will wake up to this reality. And I said it yesterday in a spaces with BJ and Brandon that I think the BlackRock, and I might have said it on the show since we heard about the BlackRock news, it seems like the BlackRock filing for an ETF is like the canary in the coal mine, and it's sending out signals to everyone that, like, holy shit, we need to get some Bitcoin exposure some way, somehow, because it is about to explode. And as Pomp himself said,
Rocket ship, get on board.
people need to get that Bitcoin exposure now. All right, anyways, I'll stop trolling.
Anyways, what's your guys' takes?
Yeah, I mean, he said it perfectly. It's you know, we're entering the accumulation phase, and we all, those of us that started buying Bitcoin earlier, I think we all knew that we would get to this point eventually where more and more people would start to wake up and see the long-term value of holding Bitcoin, even though right now we're going through a bear market. It's
are we still in a bear market? Are we still in a bear market?
It's the start of a bull market.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. That's a big claim. You heard it here for Opti. Let's change the title. Michael Saylor, start of the bull market.
Yeah, try sending gold to someone from here all the way across the world. It's just not feasible. There's no way there's nothing else like Bitcoin.
100%. There's absolutely nothing else like Bitcoin. Anyways, you got to give credit where credit is due. I think that was a pretty solid. I don't know. Opti's the in-house.
It's pessimist fields today, bro.
It's pessimist fields today. So I think that was a pretty good interview from Pomp. To be honest, I think that was very well said. That's my take on that. Anyways, I know I'm gonna get a ton of shit for it, but anyways, everybody, let's go. Let's jump straight into the news. We got a lot to talk about. Let's check it out.
The Daily News.
The Daily News is brought to you by Blockstream Jade, built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin. Check out the brand new limited edition color, the transparent green jade. Blockstream Jade houses a full color camera, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions, scan and display QR codes directly on the device, assign transactions, and verify addresses with ease. Use your Blockstream Jade with your favorite wallet software, such as Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, Sparrow. Get yourself a Blockstream Jade today and take self-custody of your Bitcoin.
All right, guys, I also want to give a shout out to the Orange Pill app. They are building the social layer for Bitcoin. You should definitely download it. And holy crap, Opti. Give me one second, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties at the moment.
Is your computer freezing?
It is. Oh, okay. It's backed. Sorry about that, guys.
It's lagging over here, though. It's lagging over here, though.
It's how we doing? We good? Anyways, guys, Orange Pill
switch?
app is building the social layer for Bitcoin. As crazy as this sounds, without the people, Bitcoin is just ones and zeros. Bitcoin is the people. Bitcoin is you. It's me. It's Opti. It's Satoshi. Download the Orange Pill app for iOS or Android. Connect with other Bitcoiners in real life today. Find other Bitcoiners that live near you, and you can go into the app totally anon and search for other Bitcoiners by common interest. Orange Pill app is also the world's biggest repository for Bitcoin-only events. If you want to meet other Bitcoiners in real life, this is the app for you. Sign up through the App Store, and you can even pay in sats. All right, everybody, let's get into the news of the day. Christine Lagarde, Opti's ex-girlfriend, strikes again. And I don't know what Opti did to her, but clearly, Opti, you must have done something. The IMF initiates development of a global digital currency platform. It goes on to say, even though cryptocurrencies don't receive the warmest welcome globally, central bank digital currencies are flourishing. Central bank digital currencies have received increased attention in recent months. Global regulators and policymakers have dedicated their efforts to exploring and evaluating the emerging technology. Now, according to the latest reports, the IMF is developing a platform for central bank digital currencies. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva stated that the IMF is developing the platform to facilitate easier transactions between countries. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning of the show. The intermediaries that are no longer necessary because they've been disintermediated are trying to find reasons as to why they should continue to exist. Also, not to mention, shout out to Alex Gladstein. He's done incredible work, really kind of highlighting the situation, what the IMF has actually done. They've gone against what their stated purpose is. They've actually hurt developing countries. So, I mean, I really don't trust them. Anyways, it goes on to say the IMF working on a global central bank digital currency platform. Georgieva told a conference in Monaco, quote, central bank digital currencies should not be fragmented national propositions. To have more efficient and fair transactions, we need systems that connect countries. We need interoperability. Well, yes, Bitcoin exists. Bitcoin does that already. She goes on to say, she stated that this very reason the IMF is working on a global CBDC platform. Additionally, the IMF has expressed its desire for central banks to reach a consensus on a unified regulatory framework for digital currencies, aiming to enable global interoperability. She suggested that the absence of such an agreement could potentially lead to a void that may be occupied by cryptocurrencies. Ding, 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 ding. She's absolutely right there. Goes on to say, speaking about the development of CBDCs around the world, Georgieva mentioned that 114 central banks are at some stage in CBDC exploration. She also added that 10 of them are already crossing the finish line. Additionally, she also stressed the necessity of CBDCs to be backed by assets. So again, it's clearly, and this is actually something that I think she admitted in that statement, really, that I truly believe that CBDCs are a response to Bitcoin. And she admitted it right there. She said it. She's like, look, if we don't do this, the void will be filled by cryptocurrencies.
It is.
And there you go. You want to add to it? Hit it, Ed.
Yeah, it is. It's been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And, and this is, and it's funny, guys, because they're telling you two things at the same time. They're telling you Bitcoin isn't money, but at the same time, if we don't get our act together and release this global central bank digital currency system, we might lose to the thing that is not money in the first place, right? So it's a lot of moving of the goalposts, and it's clear contradictory language, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean,
And it also
look at
go ahead, Ed, hit it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you hit it, bro. Jump in.
Look at the value of the dollar, right? What's happened in the past 2 years? It's totally decreased, and people are starting to lose confidence in this dollar, right? And it's not just the dollar, it's currencies around the world that are managed by central banks. So there is this Bitcoin starting to take over that value. And it's now they're trying to go into damage control to bring in their own currency, own cryptocurrency or central digital currency or whatever it is, to try and gain some confidence in the system again. And I just don't think it's going to work, because they're going to keep printing money. They're going to keep releasing, more currencies, even in this way. And Bitcoin has a limited amount to mine, and that's it. 21 million. Once it's done, no one's going to have it anymore.
Amen. Right? It's 21 million divided by an infinite amount of central bank digital currency dog shit. Ed, you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's just, you know what? It's just pure garbage. It's just ridiculousness. Exactly what Todd said. They're playing catch up. The fact is, if they really wanted to, they could have created CBDCs 10 years ago, just like Bitcoin. But I think everyone knows the real elephant in the room isn't even CBDCs, and it's not even filling any kind of void. I think we all understand that really what the situation is about is control. And Bitcoin has no control. And that's the problem for them. And that's the reason why they're creating CBDCs, is because once you have an on-ramp to Bitcoin, no matter if it's fiat, no matter if it's CBDCs, those on-ramps are controlled. And this is the real intention of CBDCs, is to be able to control Bitcoin and other digital currencies. And people are waking up to it.
Yeah, 100%. Opti, what's your take on all this, brother?
Well, first, I just want to comment, I love bringing so many people on to Simply, and everyone sees the same thing. It's like, we're not alone, guys. We're all seeing the same problem, and we all understand the solution. And just going back a little bit, like what you said, Nico, in the very beginning of this little bit, is obviously as a Bitcoiner, we understand that you can't trust the IMF. And I've been saying this for, I don't even know, months and probably years now. It really blows my mind that people still have a sense of legitimacy to these institutions. Anyone that's paying attention knows that they are either criminals or frauds, or blatantly criminals and frauds. But it's kind of to what Ed said, Bitcoin obsoletes a CBDC. So it's pretty cute to see that they're trying to compete with Bitcoin, even though I think it's a little too late for them. But it's very nice that Bitcoin is forcing their hand, and they have to do this PR because it just exposes the game completely, at least to someone paying attention. Obviously, there's still people that probably will get gaslit by this and be like, oh, yeah, it is about, faster digital payments and interoperability and connecting the world. And, it just shows that they wouldn't even have tried this if it wasn't for Bitcoin succeeding so hard. And that just shows that Bitcoin continues to win. The incentives of Bitcoins is pure, and everyone that is a Bitcoiner right now should just continue to relish in the fact that we are right. We continue to be right, and that number will go up because we are right. So shouts out to all you guys front running everyone, because they're absolutely terrified. What do we say all the time? The only thing the powers that be have is the monopoly on truth. Well, they are scrambling to gain that control back, and it seems like they have completely lost it, in my opinion. But maybe I am just confirming my own bias.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we sell.
I'm being cautious. I'm being humble here. Humble Opti.
Humble Opti. Optimistic. Humble optimistic fields.
Humble pessimistic fields.
Anyways, everybody, we still got a little bit of time in the news segment. So this is kind of like tabloid news, but I thought it'd be worthwhile bringing up. So everyone knows that Andrew Tate, well, not everyone knows. If actually only people that are listening to the BS news. But apparently, Romanian prosecutors seized 21 Bitcoin from Andrew Tate. Goes on to say Romanian prosecutors have filed a notice to seize $565,000 worth of Bitcoin from controversial internet personality Andrew Tate. Apart from the 21 Bitcoin, the prosecutors have also filed to seize 15 properties, 15 luxury vehicles, and 14 watches. According to the authorities, Tate, his brother Tristan, and 2 Romanian women were indicted on charges of, holy cow, illegal stuff. The authorities said that the indictment follows an investigation that went on for 6 months. So, the reason I wanted to bring this up is that there was a BBC interview, there was a BBC clip where they said that they seized 21 million Bitcoins from Andrew Tate, which I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And the reason that I wanted to point that out is we are so early for someone to say that, like, just not so nonchalant. But I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Anyways, Opti, what's your take on this? So it's a bit of tabloid news, but I think the signal there is truly the mess up by the BBC reporter saying that Andrew Tate had 21 million Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, first off, what are we, dude? The National Enquirer now? Like, sheesh. No. To your point, first and foremost, I think this is old news. I think this went around in the past, and now it's popping back up, and everyone's talking about it. But to your point, the fact that we have...
It's totally not old news.
No, I'm pretty sure I've heard this in the past when he first got arrested. But hey, that's besides the point. The point is, to your point, that this is how early we are. I know it's on the news. I know what you're doing. I know.
I'm playing it.
Okay.
Seized by the Romanian authorities. Very interestingly, also here they detail this. The money that they say they wanted to seize included €52,500, $17,000, £10,000, but also over 21 million Bitcoin. For those of you who have followed the value of
a lot of Bitcoin.
Wow, that's
hey
so
guys,
many.
But remember, we are misinformation.
Yeah,
and you have to
trust. And that was the point, Nico.
You
Hold
have
on.
to trust the official media sources.
I think that's the point, though. It's like we've been constantly exposing corporate press for a long time. This is like our job to just counter all the BS from the corporate press. And it's something we talk about all the time. Not only the power of memes, the power of all you guys talking and having these conversations about the truth, but just like it shows the absolute low quality of journalism coming from the corporate press. It's like that's why we call them the corporate press to begin with, is because they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Like, it's absolutely insane that this is what people listen to and believe that they're telling the truth. Anyways, I'll pull back a little bit.
Anyways, I want to get our guest take. What do you guys think about this? Look, if it was just the article, it'd be tabloid news. I think the sauce is
simply National Enquirer.
Simply National Enquirer. But the sauce really is, look how early we are. Connect this with what Pomp was saying in the BlackRock news, right? Just connect all the dots, everybody. And just, this is the legacy corporate media. This is the people that say, you have to trust us. Everyone else is, an unofficial news source. And they're saying stuff like Andrew Tate had 21 million Bitcoin seized from him, which is absolutely hilarious. But hey, if you're an uninformed viewer and you listen to that, you're like, oh man, he has those 21 million Bitcoin. He must be a bad guy. Maybe it was an error. I don't know.
Maybe the lesson is to get your Bitcoin off of exchanges where they can be seized.
There you go.
Yes. That
Wisdom.
That's always that's always something that we advocate for on Simply Bitcoin. Take self-custody of your Bitcoin, withdraw it off exchanges. don't trust anybody else. Only trust yourself. Take a little bit of personal responsibility and learn how to take self-custody. Speaking of self-custody, you want to make it over the finish line with your generational wealth, and there's no better way to store your generational wealth than to put your Bitcoin wallet backup seed words and passphrases on steel. You don't want to put it on paper. Paper is prone to water damage. It could be eaten by a dog. You want to put your generational wealth on steel. This is the BitPlates Domino. It's made from highly corrosion resistant 316 marine grade stainless steel, and it offers the ultimate protection against extremes of temperatures. And good news, you can use the promo code SIMPLY to get 10% off anything on the bitplates.com website. Anyways, everybody, no more delay. Let's jump straight into the culture. Let's do it.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, guys, Bitcoin is generational wealth, and Swan has a new offer. You can secure your bright orange future with the Swan IRA, real Bitcoin, no taxes. Swan offers both traditional and Roth options to best fit your needs. Create your IRA and start adding Bitcoin in less than 1 minute. Transfers and rollovers are available. Swan's Bitcoin experts will get you set up with no transfer fees and no minimum balance requirements. This is real Bitcoin, not ETF or other derivative. Get the real thing and get it at Swan. Go to swan.com/IRA for more details. And of course, if you have any questions, doubts, or concerns, you could always hit me up on Twitter DM or the Orange Pill app. Build your legacy your way. Anyways, Opti, what are we talking about today? I think we're talking about revolution mining. So I wanna ask these two gentlemen that have joined us today, what is revolution mining? What type of services do you guys provide?
Thanks, Nico. Revolution Mining is a ASIC sales and hosting company. We provide the best ASICs, and we provide hosting for those ASICs. We also provide co-location. So if you just simply want us to host your ASICs, you're able to ship it over to our facility, and we could get that hosted for you.
Awesome. And Opti?
Yeah, so I was checking out your website, and it looks like you guys are just about to, or maybe did this month, reveal your first facility in West Texas. So how's that going? And further, we kind of talked about how Texas is seemingly becoming the Bitcoin mining hub of the world. So is this why you started in Texas? What's going on over there?
Yeah, Opti. So the reason why we picked Texas was twofold. It's the friendly approach they have towards crypto miners, and all the laws over there that are friendly towards miners. And the second one is the power cost and the reliability of the grid in Texas. And so both of those were the reason why we started looking seriously into Texas. This was a 2-year project when we started looking back 2 years ago. And, those are kind of the reasons that led us towards Texas. And, we're glad we did. Texas is positioning itself to be one of the leading states in Bitcoin and crypto. And we're glad that we opened our facility there.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. So you also, as I see here on the site, are going to roll out another facility in Wyoming. What's the difference between Texas and Wyoming in regards to Bitcoin mining?
They're very similar in essence in terms of laws and regulations go. Wyoming is also a very crypto-friendly state. We're working on that facility right now. It's not ready to go. But as soon as it is, we'll go ahead and make that site available. It's it just goes to show you that the states that are being the most competitive and being the most friendly toward miners are the ones that are also experiencing the economic benefits that come from miners moving in and opening up facilities, hiring people. And, we just wish that more and more states would, look at Texas and Wyoming and Florida and, kind of think along those lines on how can we attract investments, and it's simply by creating a favorable climate for crypto miners such as ourselves.
Love it. Yeah. So we got a few questions in the chat. One was, what makes you different from your competitors?
The biggest difference. Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, go ahead and take it.
The biggest difference between us and our competitors is that we're not any facility that you see on our website are facilities that we fully own and manage. And so we don't broker the service out. There's no middleman when you deal with Revolution Mining. You're dealing directly with us, and it's our staff that manages the facilities, that runs the operations. And so we took this approach because as crypto miners ourselves, we saw some of the challenges in the industry and how things can be a little bit fragmented. And so we decided to create a process where we control everything from sales to hosting and to maintenance, all under one roof to give the best experience to the customers.
Love it. Todd, you want to jump in?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. We're cutting the middleman, and we're doing this ourselves. We own our facility. We're not going to bring your equipment into a hosting facility and get kicked out later on. We have full control. And part of this also is, we're cutting that middleman, reducing costs, and we're passing on to our, to our Bitcoin mining community.
Love it. Yeah. Building from the ground up. One more question from the chat. Are you guys just a Bitcoin hosting company, or do you guys also mine Bitcoin?
We do mine Bitcoin. We actually started mining at home in our garage with GPUs. And this was in 2021. We had 164 GPUs, and we were mining Ethereum at that time. And this quickly grew into acquiring and deploying hundreds of ASICs worldwide. But yeah, we mine Bitcoin ourselves. So this Texas facility will be mining right besides our clients.
So one of the questions that I always get from people is, isn't it better to just buy Bitcoin outright, right? Like if I invest into a miner right now, am I going to make the same amount of Bitcoin back or possibly more than I would if, do you guys understand the question?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, it really depends on what it is that you're trying to achieve. So you can buy Bitcoin, and that's very easy, right? You can go on Coinbase or whatever exchange you want and get Bitcoin if you wanted to. But what makes mining very interesting is you reduce your cost per Bitcoin over the long run by purchasing ASICs that mine the Bitcoin for you. And that's the key takeaway is if Bitcoin is at 30K today or 29K today, and you're buying one of the variations of a S19 from anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 right now at current market prices, you're able to, depending on how many ASICs you deploy, you're able to reduce your cost per Bitcoin to even around $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah. So let's say, again, this is the question that I get, right? Let's say someone sells their Bitcoin right now, at 30K and uses that money to invest in ASICs. What you're trying to say is that they'll be able to recoup the amount of Bitcoin that they invested in?
Yes.
First of all, can I take this?
Go ahead.
I would never sell Bitcoin. Take cash and invest into it, right? Let's say we invest 30 grand in cash. The idea is 30 grand will generate more Bitcoin over the long term than what the value of that Bitcoin is today, equivalent value.
Gotcha. So
does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So it's like, don't sell your Bitcoin, but if you do have, disposable cash, that's what you want to use to invest. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Could you guys
'Cause
elaborate a
the idea
little
is
bit?
to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, right?
And you're saying through mining, you have the ability to accumulate more than if you were just to buy Bitcoin outright, but not to take the risk of selling your Bitcoin into cash.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
It's only if you have cash, disposable cash.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. And why would you advocate against people selling their Bitcoin to buy miners?
The idea is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So why would you sell it, right?
Gotcha.
It goes back to earlier on the segment when we were talking about fiat compared to Bitcoin, and when dealing with Bitcoin, you're at maximum capacity is 21 million, and so it becomes very difficult to inflate a currency that you can't create more of.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Oh man, where can if people have any questions, concerns, where can they reach you? Like, what is the support? And again, I'm not going to name any names, but if anyone's been around for the last 2 or 3 years, the company I'm referring to, right, where they've had nightmare situations dealing with hosters. How do you guys address support? You guys very active on Twitter? Do you guys have a phone that people can call? Do you guys do support through email? And then, I want to emphasize this, guys, like, one really, really important part is that you guys actually own these facilities. You guys aren't outsourcing that, correct?
Correct. And that's one of the biggest reasons that we started Revolution Mining is, we started as miners ourselves, and we've gone through, we've been around the block a little bit, and we've seen all the difficulties when you're not in control of the entire process. And so that's what we wanted to do for the community, is create a company that could provide the best service to the clients that have one ASIC, all the way up to the clients that have 100 ASICs. And so we respect you no matter how many ASICs you have. You get the same level of support from us. You can reach us by calling us. You can reach us on email. You can reach us on Twitter. You can reach us on Telegram, Instagram, all of our different social media platforms. But mostly when it comes to support, people will call in. And yeah, that's one of our biggest tenets, is providing outstanding service, and that's one of the pillars that we founded this company on. Yeah, and
that's really cool, guys. Also, I love that you guys are located in what I call the Bitcoin Alamo state, and the reason for that is because, and shout out to Pierre Richard, right? There was an anti-Bitcoin bill that was trying to be passed that got shot down. A pro-Bitcoin bill was passed, right? And I want to get your guys' takes on, all the environmental attacks that have been happening, whether that it was the proposed Dame tax by the Biden administration that got shot down recently in the House. What are your guys' takes on that? All these environmental attacks that are happening. Clearly Texas is a pro Bitcoin state, so I don't think jurisdictionally, you should be too worried. But of course you guys, this is your guys' living. This is what you guys, this is your guys' business. It's your baby, right? So what are your guys, what are your guys thinking on that? And are you at all involved politically? Are you looking at, like, for example, the Satoshi Action Fund Are you helping those guys? Because they're definitely helping all around the country trying to pass these bills, whether it's in Wyoming. I think another state was like Arkansas, North Dakota, I think might be another one, where, these protections are actually being put into law. You can call it the right to mine. So I want to get your guys' take on, the current political situation in the United States. And, there's some very, very heavy hitters that are anti-Bitcoin mining.
Yeah. And, Nico, it's a shame that mining Bitcoin has reached politics. It's so clear cut. It's something that I feel like everyone needs to be able to do. And, the fact that it's gone politicized is unfortunate. But, it's, if you're a miner, it's something that you're going to have to deal with. And I'm not sure if you guys recently saw I believe it was the New York Times post about how miners are
the propaganda hit piece, yes, where they changed the colors of the sky, and absolutely, of course, we covered it on the show, yes.
And so, I mean, there's, I believe it was Riot that came out with a video walking around with a meter showing that there's zero, carbon emissions happening. And look, the facts are the facts. We know that Bitcoin actually helps the environment. Just take a look at flared gas and how Bitcoin is coming in there and taking gas that would be otherwise flared up into the atmosphere, and they're using it to create and secure the blockchain network. So I think we all understand that there's attacks happening on the environmental side, on the political side, for various reasons, right? And so I think it's just a matter of time. Just like we knew that Bitcoin would reach the accumulation stage, that more and more people are going to be less fazed by these attacks and understand, what's really happening.
Yeah, 100%. And today, do you want to opine on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, we strategically went to Texas just because it's like one of the main states that's Bitcoin friendly, and it's known as the Bitcoin capital, I guess. So it's I don't think it gets better than Texas. There's like miners in New York right now that are running into some major challenges because of the environmental laws that they're trying to pass. So I think as long as Bitcoin will exist, which the train's already taken off, miners will be supported, and just like anything else, if we're prepared to weather any storms, and the fact that we have a big state like Texas backing us up is very comforting.
Yeah, 100%. Let's hold down Texas. Let's hold down the pro Bitcoin states, the pro Bitcoin mining states. And as long as that there's this jurisdictional arbitrage at play, right, where states like New York State, where they passed the mining moratorium, where they want to allow more proof of work miners. Those Bitcoiners, that I genuinely believe in the next 10 years are going to be, some of the wealthiest people on the planet. They're just going to leave and they're going to go to where they're treated best. And then New York State is going to lose on all that tax revenue. I think Jack Mallers said it best in the Bitcoin Policy Summit that happened in DC, right? It's like, do you want Bitcoiners paying taxes in Texas, or do you want them paying taxes in Dubai, right? And I think that's, a reality that regulators are going to have to, regulators are eventually going to have to wake up to this, right? Bitcoin miners are like water. They're going to go to where they treated best. The CCP, one of the most powerful, political organizations, or, one of the most powerful nation states in the world, China, banned Bitcoin mining. And, you know, the hash rate decentralized in the process, and all those miners just went to more friendlier jurisdictions, right? So anyways, this is crazy stuff. The reason we have the hashtag leave my toaster alone is Cynthia Lummis in a Senate committee. She was basically referring to, she was questioning, I forget the person. And she's like, look, like Bitcoin miners are just, you know, like, what's the difference between a toaster and a Bitcoin miner, right? You know, a toaster is just, you know, it's something that uses electricity. It heats up some bread. A Bitcoin miner is just a very power hungry toaster that, you know, that does slightly different things, right? So why should you be able to, you know, plug in a toaster and not a Bitcoin miner, right? It's, you know, it's the same thing. What do we really want to live in a world where the government is getting to dictate, you know, how you're entitled to use energy and how you're not entitled to use energy? And I think that's the conversation that we should be having. And we should continue to be exposing and putting pressure on organizations like the New York Times that use misrepresentations and said, hey, Bitcoin miners are bad for the environment. It's like, Bitcoin miners aren't emitting CO2. What are you talking about? What about electric cars? Why is that not being talked about, right? You know, so, you know, it's misrepresentations, it's spin. And the reason that they're doing that is I don't think that they have a good argument to stand on. So they're hoping that, you know, they capture enough of, you know, the uninformed masses to believe in this narrative that, you know, Bitcoin is boiling the oceans, that Bitcoin is bad, right? The very, very powerful one is Bitcoin uses more power than the country of Denmark. What is not talked about is what energy is Bitcoin miners using, right? It's not using, you know, it's not, you can't set up shop in New York City and start a Bitcoin mining farm. It'd be way too expensive. You have to go to, you know, where energy is cheap. And the reason that the energy is cheap is because it's not really being used, right? So Bitcoin miners use energy that was stranded energy, or energy that was, is that you, Opti? Unplugged Denmark. Bitcoin miners are using energy that was already going to waste, which is why it's so cheap in the first place, you know? So it's important that we stay on top of the narrative. You know, we fight back, you know, color within the lines. I love how the Bitcoin community came together and downvoted that community post that the New York Times tried to quote unquote fact check, you know, Pierre Richard's video, but we struck it down. We fought back, right? We got to stay vigilant. We got to stay on top of it. Take agency. All you guys matter. It doesn't matter if you have a large Twitter account or a small Twitter account. You know, you all have a role to play. Every tweet that you like, every, you know, meme that you make are metaphorical bullets or artillery shells in this narrative trench warfare that we're fighting on the battlegrounds of the internet. Anyways, everybody, no more delay. Let's jump straight into the meme review. It's the portion of the show that you guys have all been waiting for. Let's get to it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboom Racks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboom Racks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboom Racks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboom Racks.
Kaboom rack. All right. You already know the deal, guys. This is the meme review. This is your favorite portion of the show where you tag me in memes on Twitter. You send us memes in our Telegram group, and I read them live on the show. Drop your meme review score in the chat. Wait, the chat over there, and we will cover the meme review scores after the memes. Okay, this first one is by Fiat Has No Chance, aka Pleb Signal BTC, and this is a Rick and Morty meme where he creates a little robot, and the little robot is Coinbase, and it goes, "What's my purpose?" And Rick is BlackRock, and it goes, "You custody our Bitcoin." And Coinbase goes, "Oh my God, Rex." Okay, this next one is shouts out to my boy Nate Hudson on Twitter, aka Take the Ride, and he just goes #Bitcoin, and we got a picture here of George Washington, and it goes, "Just got back from the store," and then there's laser eyes on him, and goes, "Have you seen the price of tea lately?" Absolutely devastated. Okay, this next meme is by the BTC Therapist, and he goes, "Me checking my Bitcoin today." I think we did get a little correction today, but nonetheless, Bitcoin was pumping, and you can see an extra long phone here because there is a giant green candle on the Bitcoin price. Is this the God candle? I don't know. Who knows? Okay, this next one is Adam back, but he just said, who made this? And we got Gary Gensler and Jay Powell here, and Gensler is whispering in Jay Powell's ear, and he whispers, it appears a group called the Plebs bought the fucking dip, sir, and continue to tell everyone to have fun staying poor. Yes, this is the way. Okay, this next one is by Alex. I don't know how to say your last. Stanzik, Alex Stanzik, host of Cafe Bitcoin. Shouts out to you, bro. And he goes, if you think Bitcoiners are insufferable now, just wait till we pass the last all-time high. And we've got this Giga Bull Chad here that is towering over everyone. It's a Mid-Journey AI bull. And you can see all the little plebs down here. Gonna be insufferable when we break all-time high. Okay, this next one is by Lena Sishay, and it goes, please go up. And we got a little hodler meme here, and it goes, please go up, and the Bitcoin price is down and going sideways, and then he's in a tub, and he goes, please go up, and Bitcoin's going sideways. And then at night, he's wishing upon the stars and seeing Bitcoin in the stars, and he goes, please go up. And then it finally goes up, and he goes, yay. And then he realizes, wait, hold on, I need to stack more sats first. It is bittersweet when you see the Bitcoin price run. And again, on the same vein, we got Neil Jacobs, and he goes, it really be like this though, hashtag Bitcoin. And we got that one classic meme of the girl going, yeah, no. And it goes, May 2022, Bitcoin at 30K. And we're like, oh no, absolutely wrecked. And now June 2023, Bitcoin at 30K. We're like, yeah, all right, we'll take it. Pump it, pump our bags, BlackRock. Really love it. I really appreciate it. Okay. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat that way, in the chat over there, and we will read them live. Before we go on, though, I will read mine. I know Nico is in Essentia water shill. Shouts out to Essentia. We're looking for the sponsor. But I have this Icelandic glacial natural spring water.
It's a shitcoin.
Oh, water battles.
I bet you the pH. What's the pH on that?
8.4. Naturally occurring.
9.5.
Yeah, but that's fake. That's re-injected in the water. This is natural, all natural.
9.5.
Is that your score? 9.5 pH balance.
9.5. That's not 9.5 pH. That's my score. Anyways, Ed, what would you give those memes? You're muted, brother.
Muted. I think you're muted. There you go.
Sorry. I'd give it a solid 9.1.
Okay.
Oh, throwback score.
9.1.
Did you give it a top?
9.6.
Oh, okay. All right. We're a throwback. We're going.
My favorite was the 30K.
30K. Optic, can you pull it back up again?
Oh, 30K. Yeah, one sec. Here it is. Where'd it go? I think my internet's lagging on me, Nico.
Oh yeah, this is
There
great.
we go. That's the 9.6. Oh man. Wine. Pay attention to the first part of the show, bro. All right. We had a lot to say. Wine. Anyways, everybody. Before we get to the meme score, I want to give a shout out to our clothing sponsor, Opti and I wear the merch every single day. RepresentLTD.com. I'm wearing the classic grenade camo hoodie. Opti's wearing the classic black and white Represent hoodie. You can take advantage of the promo code simply-Bitcoin. Go to representltd.com today and check out all their merch. Anyways, everybody, Opti, let's cue the epic music, and here we go. Apollo 21, the score, the Tajin bottle, I'll take to El Salvador.
Tajin. It's Tajin.
Tajin bottle, I'll take to El Salvador for the halving party. Okay.
Venezuelan confirmed. You don't like spice, bro? What's going on over there?
Satwise Janks, I give these memes 21 million. Quote, this is the ways. UTXO, my meme score is 3.1. Not doing that, bro.
Meme score is pi.
There we go. James Sito, I give the memes a long green candlestick. Elaine, fun watching Bitcoin stragglers. You know who you are, coming back to the fold.
Oh, shots fired, Elaine.
McLovin, Bitcoin sale nearly over. Stack harder. Roman, I give the memes the over 21 million confiscated Bitcoin.
All the Bitcoin are gone. All the Bitcoins belong to me.
Igor, I give the memes, not your miners, not your hash rate. Think Orange, I score the memes, a quote, where the hell is our Nico rant? So much shit going on today, bro. Pandora's Box, a submarine Keynesians to visit their financial fiat Titanic. Randmore, 821. Wineicus, no wine. I'm not.
That's not even a bad score.
No. Just wine's in trouble.
He's in timeout.
No wine. No. Opti's undisclosed reason for Bitcoin pops. I'm just kidding, Wine. I love you. Score stacking sats for Bob. He's grateful, Opti.
Grateful, Opti.
All right, we stopped because of the buzzer. No other reason. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We really appreciate it. I want to give a very special shout out to our guests from Revolution Mining. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Simply Bitcoin today. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find out more if they're interested in hosting some ASICs or buying some ASICs?
You can check us out on revolutionmining.io and on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys are on.
Thank you for having us on.
Awesome. And if anyone have any questions or concerns about the whole process, where's the best way to reach a human?
Shoot us an email at team@revolutionmining.io, or just give us a call and we'll pick up the phone.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today and being part of Bitcoin's wall of energy. And really appreciate and thank you for your contribution to the hash rate and your contribution to the ecosystem as well. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nico.
Thanks, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do, smash that like button. If you feel like we provided you value, you could consider subscribing. But the number one thing you could do to push the peaceful Bitcoin revolution forward is share this content. In fact, share all Bitcoin content. Don't share shitcoin content. That's counterproductive. But in the meantime, we love you all. If you want to continue the after party, we are hosting a Spaces with the best place to build your Bitcoin stack, swan.com. And we're hosting that space until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. Peace out, y'all.
I was distracted by my Telegram DM. Let's go. All right, guys, you already know the deal. This is a Bitcoin only space by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. So come up here, add your 2 cents to the conversation, and let's continue the conversation about Bitcoin and spread all the Bitcoin signal. What a day. I feel a little better than before the spaces. I drank too much caffeine today, guys. Your boy was wilding on the show. It's all good though. All right, I'm gonna bring some people up here. Let's get everyone up here. Let's get some combos going. Let's see what's Gucci. Okay. First and foremost, I have to acknowledge the fact that Nico is taking us down Simply National Enquirer route. This is a new development here.